Welcome to this explainer. Today we are going to tackle something that usually makes German learners break out in a cold sweat. Yep, we're talking about Wechsel prepositions, or two-way prepositions. But hey, do not worry. We are going to conquer this together, and we're going to do it by mentally moving into and arranging a brand new apartment. Trust me, by the time we finish placing our furniture today, you're going to understand exactly how to navigate these tricky little words.
Here is our floor plan for this explainer. We'll start with rooms and furniture basics, then move on to the 9 two-way prepositions, wo and fixed locations, wohin, and destinations, position versus action verbs, and finally we'll wrap up with a real room example.
Section 1. Rooms and furniture basics. Setting the scene.
Okay, before we can talk about where things are going, we need to know exactly what we're working with in our new German home. So we've got some essential vocabulary here. Das Wohnzimmer for the living room, das Schlafzimmer for the bedroom, and die Küche for the kitchen. Then we have our starter furniture, das Sofa, der Tisch for the table, and die Lampe for the lamp. Now, the absolutely most important thing to notice here isn't just the words themselves, but those definite articles, der, die, and das. Pay really close attention to these because these tiny words, they are literally going to be the stars of the show later on. They are the keys to unlocking this entire concept.
Section 2. The 9 two-way prepositions. Die Wechselprepositionen.
Let's transition into the actual glue that connects our furniture to our rooms. Here they are, the 9 spatial words you really need to memorize. On, auf, hinter, in, neben, über, unter, vor, and zwischen. Now, we call them two-way prepositions because they can trigger either the dative or the accusative case. But it's not just random. It depends entirely on the context. Are you describing where a table is, or are you describing moving a table to a new spot? That single distinction is the whole ball game.
Section 3. Wo. Fixed locations. Dative. Where is it? All right, we'll start with our first scenario, which is describing the static state of where things already are in our apartment. The absolutely crucial memory rule here is this. Whenever you answer the question wo, which means where, you are describing a fixed position or location. And in German grammar, a fixed position automatically means you must use the dative case. There's no movement to a new destination, things are just chilling exactly where they are, so wo equals dative. Lock that in your memory.
Notice how our basic articles transform to indicate that fixed location. In the dative case, both the masculine der and the neuter das become dem. The feminine die becomes der, and the plural die becomes den, often adding an n to the end of the noun. This is basically German's way of flashing a neon sign saying, hey, this object is totally stationary.
Let's look at this in practice. Das Sofa steht im Wohnzimmer. The sofa stands in the living room. Now, we frequently use contractions in German to sound much more natural. Because Wohnzimmer is a das word, it becomes dem in the dative case. So the preposition in plus the dative dem blends perfectly together into im. Basically, in dem becomes im. It's a really neat little shortcut.
So take a quick second to actively think about this. Wo steht die Lampe? If you have a lamp sitting next to your sofa right now, how would you state its fixed location using the dative case? Well, remember, sofa is a das word. So neben plus dem gives us die Lampe steht neben dem Sofa. See how logically that all just snaps together?
Section 4. Wohin. Destinations. Accusative. Where to?
Now let's see how this builds when we shift from just static observation to active interior decorating, when we start actually moving the furniture around. Here is our second vital memory rule. Wohin, meaning where to, indicates a destination or a change of location. Whenever there is a clear, new destination being reached, that acts as a trigger for the accusative case. You're picking something up and giving it a brand new home. Wohin equals accusative.
Now, if you found those dative changes earlier a bit heavy, you are going to love this. The accusative case is incredibly friendly for language learners. Only the masculine der changes to den. All the other genders, the feminine die, the neuter das, and the plural die, they just keep their original dictionary form. It's a much lighter mental load for sure when you're already busy moving furniture around. But check this out because it brilliantly illustrates a trap that so many learners fall into. A lot of people assume physical movement automatically equals accusative, but no, that's wrong. For example, ich gehe im Wohnzimmer means you are just pacing around inside the living room. Your location is fixed to that one room. That's dative. However, ich gehe ins Wohnzimmer, which is in plus das, means you are actually crossing the threshold from the hallway into the living room. The living room is your new destination, and that is accusative.
Section 5. Position versus action verbs. Choosing the right verb. To truly speak naturally, we have to introduce the final piece of the puzzle. German uses completely different verbs depending on whether an object is resting or being actively placed by you. See, while English often just uses the word put, like I put the book down or I put the lamp down, German makes you be specific. For static dative positions, we use stehen for standing upright, liegen for lying flat or sitzen for sitting. But for active accusative destinations, we use stellen to place upright, legen to lay flat, and sich setzen to sit oneself down. You literally have to know the shape of the object to know how to move it.
Let's see this pairing in action. Over on the left we have Das Buch liegt auf dem Tisch. The book is lying flat on the table. That's a fixed position, so we use the dative dem Tisch. Now look at the right. Ich lege das Buch auf den Tisch. I am actively laying the book onto the table. That's a destination, so we use the accusative den Tisch. Notice how the verb, the preposition, and the case all work together in absolute perfect harmony to either describe a static book or the physical action of you putting that book down. Here is another concrete example, this time using our upright verbs stehen and stellen. On the left, the static version. Die Lampe steht neben dem Sofa. The lamp stands next to the sofa, dative. On the right, the active version. Ich stelle die Lampe neben das Sofa. I place the lamp next to the sofa. See how we seamlessly switch to the accusative, das Sofa, the moment we take action to move the lamp to its new home?
All right, let's test this out. If you were unboxing a brand new television right now, what destination phrase and accusative article would you use to place it in your apartment? Well, you're actively placing it upright, so you'd use stellen. And maybe you want it on the table. Der Tisch becomes den Tisch in the accusative, so you would say, Ich stelle den Fernseher auf den Tisch. Section 6. Real room example. Putting it all together. Now we get to see all this vocabulary, our two-way prepositions, and our dative rules operating completely seamlessly in a cohesive, real-world text. Just listen to how beautifully the dative case paints a static, cozy, and highly visual picture of exactly where everything belongs.
An der Wand steht ein großes Sofa.
Against the wall stands a large sofa. Vor dem Sofa steht ein kleiner Tisch. In front of the sofa stands a small table. Unter dem Tisch liegt ein grauer Teppich. Under the table lies a gray rug. It's quite literally a photograph translated right into grammar.
By the way, this explainer was based on a really comprehensive lesson plan, and you can find more excellent German resources, exercises, and vocabulary deep dives from the creators at the link right here, Falowen.app. They do an absolutely fantastic job of breaking down these complex topics.
Let's wrap up today with one final challenge for you. Look around the room you were sitting in right this second. If you were to completely rearrange it today, how would you describe your new destinations using those accusative action verbs we just learned? Where are you going to stellen your desk? Where will you lege on your rug? Practice narrating your interior design choices out loud, and I promise you'll have these two-way prepositions mastered in absolutely no time. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy decorating!